Why, hello there. we weren't expecting company. It's really nice to have you here. Can I get you anything? Oh, you're a bunch of pixels, you say? You don't drink things? Well, that's fair. Since you're here, I'll be a good host and tell you a few of my accolades. Start off, my name is Sprout Foster Goodrich, but I also go by KFG. That's how I'm known as I think one of these things says that I'm a youth teaching artist. It's true. I don't remember what I do unless I write them down. I'm a youth teaching artist with a nonprofit called the Diatribe in Grand Rapids, Michigan. On top of teaching young people, I also am a developer of a workshop that's based in environmental justice, watershed education, and using poetry as a device to help kids express themselves. That's something that I'm really proud of. I'm also the slam master of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I've competed in poetry slams all over the country, toured in some of the biggest poetry venues all over the country. All in all, I guess I'm pretty cool. It's hard to feel that way when you're somebody who has complex PTSD, major depressive disorder, anxiety. I've got a cocktail list of mental health issues, which is why at the end of the day, I'm a mental health advocate, a healing advocate above everything else. And this first poem I'm gonna do for you is a little bit about why healing is so important to me in everything that I do in my life. So, I've been a massage therapist for about 6 years, which is to say, I made a career out of trying to fix people. People bring me their ache, the surface level neck and shoulder tension that everyone has, as if their pain isn't unique, nothing worth crying about. They ask for my elbows, my knuckles, bend my fists into their broken. They ask to be beaten for their weakness. They say the taste of their teeth grit is how they know it's working. Yeah, it hurts to become, but not like this, in some holy masochism. How young were you when you first lost consent to your body? When pain became a visitor you must accept in silence. I strum muscle cords back into fine hair, thumb rocks out of shoulders. As I do it, I ask, is this okay? Are you comfortable? Past the point of annoying you, I will ask you to remind you that you have a say over what happens to your own body, even if only here. I've been a massage therapist for about 6 years. And I wonder how many times people get to say, I make people feel better for a living. How often do we get to relax in comfortable silence with one another? And how lucky am I to be trustworthy with somebody's body and the whole of its history contained in its pores? Can I tell you a secret? I pour deserve into people's nerves. Wish on each of their holy cells. I wish for them everything pink. I wish rose quartz from my palms into their most pink, vulnerable, and raw. Can I tell you another secret? All I've been doing all these years is trying to trick people into being a little bit nicer to themselves. I've been planting tiny seeds to overthrow the foundation of the home where we absorbed abuse into our sinew. Let us be the garden that grows from the things we learned from hurt. Let our bodies be the art of letting go. So, that's a little bit about me. Thank you. The plants are just an uproar right now. I'm a massage therapist, as you heard. Healing is a really important aspect of what I do as a teacher and a writer. I think that being able to put into words what you're feeling and what you're going through is such a powerful act. and being able to do it in community, whether that's kids in their classrooms or somebody at a slam that I've organized or somebody at a workshop. I also teach adult and youth workshops. I've done that all over the country as well. You form a community out of this vulnerability and find that there is trust established there. And it means so much on an individual and societal level, which is also a part of the community organizing that I do. I think that it's really important to be able to imagine a world that we want to live in. When I started off performing, I found myself just pointing out what's wrong and what I didn't like, and I felt so bitter all of the time. I think that being able to point out what makes us mad, what makes us sad, flaws that are in our society, looking at systemic racism, there's lack of accessibility when it comes to our public school system for people who are neurodivergent, for people who speak multiple languages. We need to point out these flaws in our society, and at the same time, I think that it's really important. I encourage my students, I encourage anybody who comes to an event that I am hosting. I encourage everybody to try to imagine what kind of world they would want to exist in. And this is one of the worlds that I have imagined, and I hope that you can join me in imagining this world. When the end of the world comes, queers shall roam the planet as unextincted dinosaurs in an era that will go down as the Bubblegum Apocalypse! Picture it. God blast her DJ set mix from surround sound clouds, strobing sunrise colors all over dance floor meadow. Brachiosaurus bisexual, picture tall, play softball. She extends her long neck to get a round of top shelf leaves for all the little guys in line behind her, while Triceratops pansexual is dizzy off of fermented ground fruit already, as so many apple bottoms have dropped to the floor. In enters trans Tyrannosaurus, even more jaw-dropping in lethal stilettos. She does not have to apologize for the sky she occupies now. No apologizing her body back into flesh grave. Asteroid sparkles linger in her eye like a disco ball that comes with claiming an existence in the face of extinction. Who needs that old sun when her wise eyes are enough to keep the whole planet warm? Vegetation, bouquet, everybody fed. Imagine those who were once most fearful of the night are given the option of becoming its monsters. But above vengeance, we choose to just dance. Because the end of the world as it was, is a cause for celebration. Quiet, please. You're messing up the audio. But thank you. Wow. We've really come a long way together, haven't we? I feel like we've learned so much about each other. I mean, you've learned a lot about me, and I really like that about you. How good of a listener you are. I find this to be really important in every aspect of the work that I do because of having a variety of mental illnesses. My ability to read social cues, my ability to fit into certain social norms has been a struggle for much of my life. And as I've gotten older and learned to heal these hurt aspects of myself, I find how important it is to live as authentically as possible in everything that I do, whether it is a poem that I've written on a page that's been published in a journal, if it's a poem that I've performed on video that is put on the internet. I've got one with Right About Now and one that is coming out with Button Poetry soon. So if you like what you see here, you can check me out on there as well. If I'm teaching a poetry workshop to adults about how to make comedy out of their tragedies. If I'm teaching a workshop to young people, if I'm just emceeing a show and getting people from the city or from the state to gather in to listen to people speak their truths, I hope that what I put out into the universe or the room that I'm in, the encouragement to be your most authentic self and to listen to that innate intuition that all of us have and to learn how to express that, whether that's through poetry or dancing or filing taxes. Whatever your self-expression is beautiful and valuable. So I'm gonna close out our little visit. It was so nice of you to come through uninvited. I'm gonna close out with the piece that will actually be coming out on Button Poetry here soon. If you are interested in being more connected with me, having me at your organizations or universities to host a show, teach a workshop, do my shtick and poetry things with a group of your students, I would absolutely love that. My website is kfgsprouts.com. And if you're also interested in doing something with my Watershed Environmental Justice Poetry program, it's called We Are Water, and it is such a beautiful thing that is coming into fruition in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and is growing into other states as well, to get students passionate about environmental justice, to see environmentalism as a part of social justice, and to learn how to express themselves as they're learning all these wonderful things. So this will be my final sonata for you tonight. Thank you for being here. In response to the Trump administration's take on gender. In Mrs. Morgan's second grade class, I once took an eraser to my forearm. Skin rolled back into dull gray ash, a streak of pink beaconed. This was the same year I found out I was supposed to act like a girl. When Cal, Gennaro, and the rest of my friends found out too, I peeled off the cargo shorts, peeled the rough house from my muscles, extended raw vessels like flower stems into the boys' hardening hands. I thought if I couldn't be their friend anymore, desire might draw me back into their favor. I tossed cuts of my vodka-marinated meat at sweaty basement EDM parties like confetti. Squat tailored butt scooping pink bits off the ground into the myriad mouths of Hydra men. I lured boys back into my creaky bed, crammed in a closet, asked them to love my skeleton clean of any scraps that would survive the night's teeth. So, as you can see, no one can erase me better than me. If we, trans, are theoreticals written in and out of legislature, if we are ghosts shuffled around boardrooms, if the shards of our shells are rearranged into grenades and then returned back to us, planted into our palms, where we live, in our military barracks, in our prison cells, in our school bathrooms, know that we never really even needed this body. No, we never clung so desperately to gender fictions written to extinguish us. Oh, we tried, but the lessons turned to clay in our fluid fingers. Funny how colonizers thought they could rip two spirits out of existence with scripture, as if they could tear all the clouds from the sky. Know that we are trans, as in transcendent, as in ghosts that stop haunting bones to join collective spirit. So that means we are the heaven stuff you love so much. We are God, but so are you. So why don't you start acting like it? Because one of these days, your body's gonna get swallowed up by the earth we animate, and unlike us, when your body is taken, you'll have nothing left.